Hey guys, this is Kyle with Rogers Family Roofing. We're over here at the Seguin house performing our repair attempt. Just as a really quick 360 so we can verify the property. What I've gone ahead and done here is I've actually marked out the shingle that we intend to pull with these two brackets. I've also gone ahead and numbered all the appliques above the shingle in the first two courses, since this is where we do have to lift and delaminate these shingles and then remove the fasteners. We're going to treat this area over here just to the left as our control. Obviously we don't have anything going on over here. We're not going to be touching this area, but as you can see from the condition of the shingles, there's still life on them. They are fully tabbed down. Everything's looking really good. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. So I'm going to first off start by taking my tool here, and I'm just going to very gently run underneath the shingle. And this one was chosen because there's just a little bit of damage on him, but we're going to next go up to the next course. And again, very gently. As you can see from my tool, I'm keeping this thing very, very flat to the roof as to not overwork the shingles. And I don't want to go too far past this point because, the fastener is directly above our area of removal. So next we're going to come into this one here. This one, we're going to slowly start to remove all these fasteners as well, or excuse me, delaminate the shingles to gain access to the fasteners, excuse me. One thing we're already seeing as well, just upon initially delaminating this one here, we can see there's already the tiniest little bit of almost like a crack, and we can see that this applique right there is wanting to separate already. But we press on. So next for the actual fastener removal, and this is just getting up underneath this. We have applique number 1 here that has fully popped. We also have just a little bit of mat transfer right underneath here. But we're going to look for our fasteners. There's fastener number 1. We're going to get up underneath it nice and gentle. And he immediately pulled through. As we can see, the nail was flush to the shingle, not to the deck below. And so there was some shingle debris underneath there, but we press on. There's our first nail out. Throw that there, my wrist magnet. Second nail, perfect location. Get nice and gentle underneath it. See if we can get this guy pulled. Yep, there we go. Second fastener is out. Moving right along here. And as I'm just looking here for the fasteners, I am feeling this applique number 3 already start to pop. There's a nail right there as we can see, so let's get up underneath that guy. There we go. And the location here was also chosen because we've got a nice good shade tree right behind me here. I wanted to do something, or I wanted to do this repair in an area that was going to be receiving the most amount of favors compared to an area just with tons of granule loss and where the shingles are already just looking a little sus. Just to try and give this thing as many favors as we can. And so what we are actually already seeing here as well, this fastener has been pulled through just by manipulating the shingle just to get the nail out. And so let's see if we can get it. We're kind of struggling to get it on that one, but press on. Oh, goodness. We ejected that fastener, just trying to pull it out in an attempt to not overwork this area as well. You could hear the rest of this laminate strip slowly delaminating, and that noise is acceptable. Applique number 9 popped, just trying to get him up high enough just to find our nail, and there he goes the rest of the way. So applique number 9, just from very minor manipulation to get these fasteners, has fully delaminated. Let's see what else we can get here. One thing to note on this as well is I'm being extremely careful to try and get these fasteners out. There we go, just lifted just enough. I'm being extremely careful to get these fasteners out. The average crew, average laborer will not be taking this kind of time to remove these fasteners. They are here. They're going to get in this thing, do as quick as they can to get on to the next one as fast as they possibly can. There we go. That nail out. There should be one more, maybe. Well, maybe that's it. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Yep, here we are. And quite a bit of granule loss, as we can see through here. Granules on the shingle, or coming off the shingle, isn't necessarily cause for any sort of loss. However, we do need granules physically on the shingle for it to retain its water shedding capability. And then removing the shingle has caused quite a bit of granule loss. So next I'm just going to come over here, get my hammer. We've got a shingle here. This is the closest shingle we could find, given the speed in which we needed to try and do this, and not do this on too hot of a day. So lining it up here, we're just going to check out the general measurements here, and as we can see, this shingle is far too long. Far too long. So this does need to be trimmed, and that's actually kind of where things get a little interesting on this. Is trimming of shingles is actually only if we read the install and manufacturer guidelines of install on these things. The only place you're permitted to trim shingles is on the rakes and the valleys, specifically terminations, not in the middle of the field here. And so trimming shingles in the middle of the field is not actually something that is permitted by the manufacturers, but we press on. So all I'm doing here is I'm just going to kind of cut to get through this this strip here to make that a little easier. And trim this guy up ever so slightly. There we go. Now let's go ahead and flip him over. Let's get him slid in place. Let's check out our exposure length here, and we're actually just a little off, only probably about 1/8 of an inch, but we press on. So we've got our shingle into place here. So now let's go ahead and start into our actual repair here. So we get going. Okay, we're gonna, oh my goodness here. I need to get this shingle up high enough in order to get this nail in place here, but I am struggling to do so without damaging the shingle. And I guess here, let me see if I can get this angle. We can see kind of the issue I'm at here, and the angle in which I'm trying to get this thing lifted up at. It is not very high. I'm really trying not to over manipulate these shingles, but I'm having a really hard time getting this thing high enough to even swing my hammer. I'm hearing something tearing, but I just struck the shingle right here because I need to get this thing up high enough in order to struck the shingle again, right there. We're also getting a crease forming right along through here just by getting the shingle lifted up high enough. But we press on. Let's see if we can try and reuse this nail hole, which kind of ventures us into a separate problem, but tries to solve. There we go. Well, struck the shingle here, and this applique was already fully popped, and we can see we've got some pretty major mat transfer here and here from that shingle popping. Number 9 was already previously fully popped, but just from getting the fasteners out. And then one more nail. We can't reuse this nail hole because it did tear through upon trying to get the fastener out, so I do have to use a new nail hole, or place a new nail hole in this shingles, which actually causes its own set of issues, as the 2018 IRC speaks directly about reusing damaged and deteriorated materials. We are getting a little bit of a crease developing right here in the middle of the shingle. We can kind of see that starting right there, and it almost makes kind of a swooping pattern as we move down, but we press on. Okay, let's see what we can do to get this thing all wrapped up. And number 5 is popped. Okay, moving right along though, all the same. Okay, let's get this guy in here. And I actually had to put that one a little lower than the nail line because I don't have, and see, he's actually pulling this nail back up and out just by manipulating that shingle. I had to put that one just a little lower than the nail line because I didn't want to overwork the shingle. There we go, and our last nail here. Of course, number one was already popped in just trying to get the shingle out originally. There we go. So it's shingles back in place. Taking a look at our damages, of course, we have a strike right there. We have a tear right here with a fully delaminated applique on number 8, fully delaminated applique number 9. Number 5 is completely delaminated here in the middle, so he's fully compromised. We have the fastener still trying to pull up some more right there. We had our fastener right here pull through entirely, so we had to reuse him or put a new hole in that shingle. Number 1, fully delaminated. We are getting a crease, and then just going through and showing. Number 7 has delaminated, but we're actually getting a crease that's developing right along the middle of the shingle right here as we're moving along, and this nail is coming out as well. Moving along to here, we're getting a crease developing right here in the middle, and at the end of the day, we also had some pretty significant mat transfer right here and right there. We had some mat transfer along our sample shingle right here, which means as in this general area. So this shingle will not reseal this one properly, which means this shingle is completely compromised. At the end of the day, when it comes to what we're seeing here, especially with mat transfers, we're seeing damage work its way up the slope, and with the mat transfer being on the shingle we removed, it's also working its way down the slope at the same time. To be frank, this shingle does not pass any sort of repair attempt on this because it's creating more damages as we go through. In all reality, we need to then replace these two shingles moving up the slope, and this sort of damage will continue both upwards and downwards. Coming back over here to our control area, we'll move our shingle out of the way a little bit here. Again, none of these shingles were touched. All these are perfectly laminated down. Oh, there's a little bit of wiggle on the corner there, no big deal. I would consider this one a fail. Again, this is over here at the Seguin residence. This is Kyle with Rogers Family Roofing.